YouTube, this is unexpected. This has only happened a few times in my lifetime, and if it were to happen again, then this is an extremely dangerous situation. It seems like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a possible outbreak. I'm not going to call it yet because I want to keep the people at home. I want to be as transparent as possible. This isn't looking good at all. It seems like thunderstorms have gotten the gist of the situation and they are starting to develop at a rapid pace. And if this is the case, then in this environment, I'll likely be live for the next 10 to 15 hours. Now, I don't want to say that to scare anybody, even though it sounds kind of exciting, to be honest. It does seem like this is the type of situation in which, and there's already tornado warnings going up here, very close to the Tennessee Valley. I'm very concerned for everybody's safety. It's really freaking me out, but here we go. We're about to get started. All right. This is not a joke. This is not a play. This is real life, and this is happening right now. Okay. So we have some curvature in these thunderstorms here going towards Florence, Alabama. So in Florence, Alabama, I would already be preparing your safe spot. It's not looking too good for you. It seems like a pretty strong hailstorm is coming towards your location and right up towards Florence there. You got about 15, 16 minutes, and that's going to be halfway to you. 15, 16 minutes after that, and that is going to be on top of Florence, Alabama. Big updraft going up here. Big updraft. All right, so we're going to change radars here. We're going to get a slightly better look at this using GWX. Like I say, atmosphere out here is starting to get a little cooled. You got some 70s out here, and you got a lot of supercells going up right now. Definitely a time to be live. So you got some updrafts out here, but really in this situation, there's not really much you can do. I'm just going to sit back and relax and take in what's about to happen to a lot of people. So I would say if I was going to, today's a high risk day. If I was going to put out my high risk, I was going to put it right here. I was telling people today, especially at my school, that we may not get any rain. That is no longer the case. We will absolutely get rain. Here's one. This one's looking really nasty, okay? So it's looking real bad. There's some storms going up to the south of it. So what we can hope for here is that as this storm approaches Waterloo and Florence, this storm to its south will merge with it, and then that could weaken it right in through here. But still 60-mile-an-hour winds and a 1-inch hail. We got a plethora of supercells that are initiating in this area. A lot of cumulus going up. And we're not even at max daytime heating yet. We still got about an hour to 2 hours before atmosphere is really maxed out. And that doesn't mean it's going to get any less bad. We still have extreme southerly air going on right now. If I can get a new update on these storms, you got another one over here that's looking pretty violent, and you have a bunch of them up here that are tornado warned here near Memphis. Jackson, Tennessee needs to be in their shelter right now. Right now. They need to be in their shelter. You got a big thunderstorm going into Jackson. A big thunderstorm. In fact, a group of thunders got pretty good rotation with a lot of these. And this is coming up towards Jackson, Tennessee. I'm going to check the velocities real quick on these storms and see if a tornado threat is still in these thunderstorms. Like I said, tornado warning for Jackson, Tennessee. Massive supercell, and we do have some pretty good rotation with that. We have some more violent rotation here near Ripley, Tennessee. This is riding just south of Ripley, Tennessee, so I'm going to circle to you where this tornado is probably occurring, and it's going to be right in there. And I'm going to switch to correlation coefficient and see if I'm right. Definitely some big time rotation with that storm. So just kind of remember where that circle is, and we're going to switch to correlation coefficient. Like I said, these are supercell thunderstorms, all right? And it does look like some debris is on that Ripley storm, so possibly with that thunderstorm. It's very hard to tell. And there might now a triple hail tag near Jackson, Tennessee. But it does look like up near Ripley, Tennessee, maybe just south of that, there might be some debris that's flying up in the air. So possible tornado over there. We're going to move back to HTX. All right. Only severe warning for the Tennessee Valley is out here. These storms do look like they're maturing, though. So we're going to have to talk about that. And every one of these storms that goes up is going to have a outflow boundary, all right? this storm is going to be a long-term concern. All right. Now, this one is heading towards Giles County. So if you're in Giles County, I'm just calling it out. That storm in a couple minutes could become severe in this environment. Like I said, with 84 over 64, 82 over 66, you're likely looking at 5,000 to 6,000 joules per kilogram. Here's another one going up just south of Scottsboro, maybe towards the Fayette area. And this one's going to cross over into Georgia. If you see where I'm circling there, that's likely the area that's going to get impacted by that storm. And we have another one that's going on over here near Hamilton, Alabama. That's going to go through Phil Campbell, and it's going to track up towards the Tennessee River. And like I said, that super, super nasty curved storm that's moving into Florence. That storm right there is probably producing golf ball to ping pong size hail with it. So we're going to have to watch out for that. Switching to now we have a tornado warning here on this storm in Tennessee. Yeah, so that one was just under a severe thunderstorm warning. Now it's under a tornado warning. And it does look like this Florence storm is about to be under a tornado warning as well. Definitely a pretty good hook on this thunderstorm. And a lot of this could stay out of the Huntsville area. So that's why I'm a little skeptical about that aspect of it. But if we start seeing supercells and updrafts, it's really starting to get organized. And there's definitely a mesocyclone on this. It's a weak rotation. If you're in the Florence area, I would recommend moving to your safe spot here in about 10 minutes. And this is an area near Belmont, Mississippi. You do have some wind that's going towards and away the red, or well, almost towards and away, very close here. Near Belmont, Mississippi. This is moving towards Tishomingo, Mississippi, and the Red Bay area. It's now up here. We've got a new update on your velocity. There's so many tornado warnings right now. Well, not so many, but some. And the ones that are up right now are pretty dangerous. And like I said, this day is not going to get started until 2 hours from now. This is just the beginning. And worst case scenario, absolute worst possible case, is that in this area, and there is some storms that are initiating, that they'll start creating outflow boundaries. And when you start getting these outflow boundaries here, those will initiate even more storms. So this one kind of has one right in through here. This one has one right in through here. And as these kind of drift out, then more storms will fire off that. God, there's just a lot of supercells going up right in this area. Just a pretty bad day if you're in Mississippi for a lot of people. This sickle-shaped storm seems pretty dangerous. We got one up here that's also sickle-shaped. Here's one. This one's a little weirder, but God, that Florence storm is really getting going. And it has that nice, you don't want to see this in Alabama, where you have storms that kind of go up and they kind of get pulled this way a little bit. All right, that means that the updraft is getting tilted sideways in the likely the most favorable direction with that. So that's not good at all, right? And you also see some of these developing here towards Huntsville. You got one here that's curved, and you have another one here, a little bit of curvature with that. You do not want to see that with these storms. It's the last thing you want to see. Just a lot of thunderstorm initiation right now. And like I said, the storms to watch, and they just continue to look more concerning, are these thunderstorms that are initiating out here. Those are going to be the ones that create those outflow boundaries. And this day is just getting started. It's just heating up, really. This one here is getting some curvature with it. Let me turn on echo tops. Yeah, this one definitely has some height with it, as well as this one really getting its act together. Has some spotty echo tops and just big thunderstorms out here, but it's all starting to track in. See, right now the main concern is Mississippi, but that's not going to last for very long, especially with that. That is bad. That's just really bad. We have this storm here south of Florida. You do not want to see this, guys. You do not. This is worst case scenario. You do not want to see this. All right. You got this. All right, we're gonna check this one out. I bet you this one is going to make it to Tennessee. 100%. It's the atmosphere is just too good. So areas to watch. We're watching Athens and Decatur. All right, as well as Coleman. Your impacts could not even happen. In fact, I'm gonna draw the line. If you're this way of the line, your chances are you're gonna get impacts. If you're this way, that's still a little bit sketchy. But we're forecasting, or at least I am, that a tornado outbreak is going to occur on that side of the line. Now, here's the issue. All these storms that are going to happen, because they just on this side of the line, all right, in this area, all right, are going to drape outflow boundaries this way. That's just what they do. And they're not saying that these are initiating, these are just initiating. All right, that's another. We have one going up here this way. We have another one down here. This is just south and west of Albertville and east of Coleman. And it's kind of riding this highway that goes through Gadsden. If you know what highway I'm talking about. Um, you got another one that intersects with that, and up that highway that goes towards Florence. You got I think this one is this one is 53. This one is 53. Yeah, so this storm is going to ride this line, and this may bring more. There's just so much drawing on the board right now. Hold on a second. This is super complicated thermodynamics with these storms. But generally, this half of Florence is going to receive impacts from this storm. All right. So expect this one to get a severe thunderstorm warning right around here. Because that's when it already has an updraft. You can clearly see it has a pretty intense updraft as well as this one. This one also is a updraft that's going up as well as this, the radar seeing from super far away. There's an updraft going on right there. There's a weak storm up here. There's one there. Oh, what just happened? Yeah, so multiple discrete showers, sign of intensification, environment, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to my severe dashboard because it just a lot of tornado watches. And like I said, that goes to the Alabama state line. Yeah, I agree with that. This is terrible. This is just terrible. At least for the folks in Mississippi. Can't say the same for northern Alabama, but I'm going to be live for it anyway. Whatever happens, happens. I have no control whatsoever over it. Got a lot of storms going on. Strong to intense tornadoes out here is definitely any of these storms not out of the picture. This one might be doing it right now. It just might be. Yeah, just a lot of supercells going up. A lot of them. But in the long term, maybe, and this one's really getting its act together, by the way. Maybe this area will be next. Right? Because generally, I already see confluence bands going through here already, and you see on one of those bands, a thunderstorm's already going up. This one, you got one going up. You obviously have one through here that's producing this one, and you have one through here that's producing this one as well. We have to watch this extremely closely. All right? Extremely closely in the next couple hours. This is the type of situation in which anything could happen. I have no control over it. When you start getting updrafts, there's actually one right here that's going up as well. When you start getting these little curvy shower things, and these are all going to track through Mississippi area. So this corridor might start experiencing more of a heavy rain threat. This is still terrible. But this one near Florence, it's just been looking bad now for a while. And it continues to do so as it tracks towards Florence. We're seeing pretty explosive development. Though this storm may be struggling a little bit because it has all these storms here that are stealing all this rain, and then that is kind of cooling down this area. So the storm itself is a pretty violent updraft. I mean, you just got a big updraft right in here. And it's taking in massive amounts of inflow in different places. But Florence at this point, I think, is off the impact. This is more of a Waterloo storm. And Waterloo, the interesting thing about you is that you're about to get hit by this massive wall of rain and hail. And there's also this one that we're going to have to watch track towards Waterloo for more of a tornadic threat. But overall, this is a pretty rough situation. All right. There's just a lot of confluence nature with these storms, and this one has been catching my eye now for a while near Huntsville. Just south of Huntsville, in fact. Actually, I hope that's not the case. Yeah. There's one right next to the high top. This one's already starting to get its act together, like significantly. This pretty soon is likely going to become a significant supercell. As that look to it, is taking in some inflow on its southern flank. So just a cumulus cloud for now, but it's a sideways cumulus cloud that's getting big. All right. So, like I said, there may even be some extremely, extremely small hail falling in that. And this is going to kind of ride the Madison County, Jackson County line. All right, not going to enter Madison County. It's going to stay this way. At least I think. And there's also this other one going up right here, as well as this here. You have to watch these. And we'll see as that continues. You got a full-fledged supercell here going up this way. You know, it's really cutting it close. It's really, really cutting it close. It's close. This is real close. This is closer than I would want it to be. There's a lot of development of supercells. It's which storm will win. And if there's a storm that wins in this environment and that gets really winning and there's nothing in front of it, it's going to be very dangerous. But all this convection is kind of struggling, except for these, because of rain-cooled air, because this part of Mississippi has just been pummeled. But not really. This is still very supportive of tornadoes. So these will likely all grow into big supercells, but we gotta watch these storms here. Because this is the next generation of storm. So this whole area needs to be mindful of these. The Florence storm itself has this huge tilt to it because of this crazy honograph, but it looks like it's struggling slightly. Definitely a hook shape. It definitely has hail. It's looking quite intense. Let's look at this northern Arkansas. This is going to be the risk radar for that. Oh, there's tornado warnings everywhere. They're going pop, 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 pop. Yeah. Yeah. You got a nasty line of storms up here. This isn't going to make it to the Tennessee Valley, by the way. I don't think so. This one got a tornado warning for probably this comet head far north. Yeah, that could be producing a spin-up tornado. Okay, this would be near Flamingo or Flemington or something. Missouri. That situation up here. You could be having a tornado going into that city right now. Like I said, just general severe weather situation. Hit a lot of these. The Paducah radar at this supercell just being just really nasty. This one too, it's pretty bad. I'm gonna take a look at that storm with the Memphis radar. I'm gonna do my due diligence. These people, man. These poor freaking people. Yeah. This one has the best form of all of them, I'll tell you that much. And this looks concerning when they get these fingers out of their southern flank. Definitely some. Oh, that one looked concerning too. Some rotation with this. And then this is right in here. This is right in here. Marshall. Nobody said this. Literally nobody. Did anybody say this? To my understanding, did anybody tell me to do this? I don't think so. It's lagging, man. I like it when it does this. I'm just cautious about these because of May 8th. I want to be as cautious as possible. Near Belmont, Mississippi, you're getting a pretty good wall cloud right now. And that's going to be associated with this thunderstorm. That area, it's a wall cloud. This is a wide wall cloud on it. Moving, really it's going to miss Tuscumbia. So, and I know they've gotten a lot of storm damage. Probably not going to get missed by this one, guys. Probably not going to get missed by this one. Or this one either. None of these are going to miss you, as well as the ones in between. This one already, near Russellville, you're probably going to see a pretty crazy storm here in a little bit. Let's see if we can get a view of this storm. Actually, let me just quickly check up on the Huntsville storm. It's definitely there, but it's nothing too impressive. Our atmosphere here may very well be too capped. But this one's a little bitty. I circled it earlier. It's getting bigger. So is this. But these are taking a long time to grow. Because what they have to do is they have to fight, and then they win with the cap. So they will win, but it'll probably win up here and not down here. These have already won. That's why they're so dangerous. Our cap is an area of warm air aloft. We're going to take a look at. I'm going to use WAFF and see if I can get a view of some of these storms. I got something in the chat. And maybe answer some questions. Whatever. With these types of situations, I just can't help to think that maybe we got something wrong. Maybe the National Weather Service wasn't right because it's looking like the low-level jet's going to kick in here in northern Alabama here pretty soon when the sun goes down. Sun has to go down for that to happen. The hurricane shows these storms, but does not show the secondary development. Shows your Mississippi supercells, doesn't show them, shows something going up, and then just not being able to. Supercell composite values are pretty good, guys. I mean, we're ready. Our atmosphere is primed. Her kind of has a pretty good look at this. Whatever. So we're going to talk about, what was I going to look at? Oh, WEFF weather cams. I want to see this storm near Florence. If I can't see that one, I'm going to try and see the storms that are fighting with the cap in Huntsville. If they win, they're going to become extremely severe. Chems, not Chem-Ms. I think there's one weatherman name. This is just local. I have most of the local stations for Northern Alabama. Yeah, you can see this storm from the Space and Rocket Center. It's my little one. I don't think this is the big one. Could be. It's fighting with it really, really hard. It's persistent. That's the thing. It's persistent. Here's this probably gonna lose. It's getting really apart. It's trying its best. Actually, this just might be just a random cumulus cloud. Because this seems oddly close to Huntsville. Oddly close. But it's trying. If this is it, it's trying. The Florence camera is going to have a good look if they turn it the right way. Of this severe storm that's moving towards them, it might be back in here, is what it might be. I think that's the direction it is. I could be wrong. A lot of wind, very fast moving low level clouds out here. Got the big anvil because of this storm as well. Yeah. East Limestone has a view of something. This looks like a pretty big thunderstorm that's far away. Anyway, let's open up WX. I may only be live for like 20 more minutes. Because for these storms to develop, we're going to have to wait for the low-level jet to kick in. Which is this area of fast-moving air low to the ground. And that only happens when the sun sets due to a difference in temperatures. The air gets funneled between it, and you get this low-level jet. Which is very fancy. Florence, you just have a stack of thunderstorms that are going to move. Actually, it's more towards the Waterloo area. A lot of general shower activity out here. But there's a couple that interest me. Yeah, definitely. We got this right here. This one's getting pulled apart, but at this point, it's one against the cap, and now it's just growing. This one has not won yet. And you have a couple that obviously have not won yet, though. They're trying. Updrafts up here that are getting seen by the radar. You got a massive one with this big hook echo on it that's getting all mean and stuff. Atmosphere right now is pretty good. It's staying non-explosive. The reason why I'm live is if it does explode, then that's a problem. It looks like this storm out here has won. And I can see that because it's officially established its mesocyclone. I think MCS is looking at this storm down here, which has not won. This one, however, if you look very closely, has established a mesocyclone updraft and looking pretty good. All right. This storm will likely become a threat here. I know that because that's the same thing that happened during May 8th, except this storm right here. Oh, it's that laggy. This storm was right here. That's laggy. And then when it got here, it became strong. It actually produced a weak tornado there. So we're going to watch out for that. Overall, there might be a split going on with this storm too. Because and this type of organization in the form of splits is rare to see. But there is one here. And there's a separate one here. Though they may hold together. We'll see. This is the general shape of the storm. There's also some rain that's kind of coming out of it there a little bit. As this another updraft tries to go up with it. No threats for the Huntsville area for now. At this point, I think it's pretty safe to say that that's going to change quite quickly. Very quickly, actually. It does seem like this activity has increased significantly, which is not what we want. But here it is, right in here. And these are all going to have their little battles. Of course, this one's already won. At this point, it's a full-blown supercell. But the rest of these, each, think of them as individual warriors. Each are going into this situation not knowing. But they're going to fight it, they're going to fight it, they're going to fight it, and they're going to win. That's what's going to happen. They're going to win. However, them winning will likely produce large violent tornadoes. But, whatever. It's winning anyway. It's winning anyway. Yeah, just a lot of convection out here. That's really starting to bubble up. And when this gets into this area, it's just going to erupt. I mean, they have so much time to get bigger. So, my mom is making me dinner. Why is that important? Because these storms are going to develop so quickly that what if while I'm eating dinner, tornado warnings are like this? Then what? I just missed it. I need to be on track today. Right? So just like May 8th, I'm telling you, look me in the eyes. You're watching, right? You're there. That's you. Look me in the eyes. Last time this happened, a lot of people had to die. It's happening again. And frankly, this time, it might be worse. It might not be. It might not even happen. But there's a chance. And the chance hasn't been this high in a very long time. So if you go under a tornado warning tonight, go in your shelter so we can all stay safe. I'm being serious. They're just really going. This one's already won, by the way. This one near Hodges, Alabama, looks like it has its act together. Its acting is together. Its act is together. Here it is. Its acting is together. This one, not yet, because it's trying to develop, but it's just getting sheared sideways very rapidly by the wind shear. So it's going to have to regroup here near Spruce Pine, Alabama, and Phil Campbell, Alabama. It'll likely turn into this in like 10 minutes. But as of now, it's not looking good for this storm. Now, the one south of that one, though, seems like a interesting situation has occurred. A terrorizing turbulence, would you say? It developed, here's its main updraft. It is developing, but it got pulled apart so much that it split in half. And now this is just rain that's falling out of the sky. The actual storm is this. How do I know that? Because I've been looking at radar for many years. And this is what's going on. This will go this way, and then it will fizzle out. However, this right here will keep going and going, and it will eventually look like that. All right. All right, let's check in on this storm down here near Gwyn. This one's just going up. And like I said, all that go up in this environment, any storm that goes up is going to immediately get sheared. So here's your main updraft, and it's like, let me rise. And just the wind just rips it apart. And that's just this light rain that's just flying out of it. It's just like it's guts, just flying out of it. But the updraft is producing some marginally heavy rain. So it's actually quite intense. However, this blob has kind of been sheared from it. So it's a supercell, right? It's mini, but it'll become one someday. We move south of that. Here are your baby updrafts, right? These are your little babies. These are baby tornadic thunderstorms. This one here is just a rain shower, but it is going up, all right? But like I said, that sheer is starting to get to it, and that's why all this rain is falling out of the side of it. This one is going up, and it's such a baby that, and there's also one over here as well. But anyway, it goes up, and then there's just rain falling out. See, look, it's getting stronger now. So now it's more stout. All of these are strengthening. This one, sadly, actually, not sadly. That was that little storm that I just pointed out. This one's getting more intense. You see it here. Oh, come on. Come on. What scammer made this name? Gwyn, Alabama. There's Gwyn, Alabama, and then there's Gwyn, Alabama, and then Winfield, Alabama, and then just the odd one out. There's just Beaverton, Alabama. What gives? This one's updraft, I think, is in this area. And it's really struggling. It's really getting pulled apart. But like I said, these storms in this environment are extremely persistent due to the Cape. And it has grown significantly since the last time we watched it. This one over here is getting really just yanked, honestly. It's getting yanked southward because of this intense wind shear. Probably a low-level jet here is starting to kick in and really starting to give these storms some more energy, and that's why they're developing so quickly. It's just getting the crap yanked out of it, okay? To the point where likely Winfield, Alabama may even get some rain because even though the storm will be on Gwyn, Alabama, its entire body will get yanked over Winfield, and then you'll just have just rain falling. All right, we move up to baby soup number 2. All right, this one is really getting its act together, right? We're now seeing super duper heavy rain. Your updraft is right here. It's looking nice. We already have this rear flake downdraft that's developing on this shower, and its updraft probably is right here. It looks like that. And then all this rain is just getting flung out of the side of it and yanked all the way out here. But it's still there, and this is one of our more dangerous thunderstorms. All right, this one over here. You know how they all got the same shape? That's how you know the wind shear. So you know there's wind shears when all the storms have the same shape. This one's here. There's its updraft. It's like, whoa, it starts to develop and it just gets yanked this way. And you kind of see that same thing going on. It splits in half, and then this new area of rain near Haleyville. We'll track it to Haleyville. So if you're in Haleyville, expect some light rain. Bear Creek, Alabama, you're going to get impacted by some heavier rain, possibly even small hail here in a little bit. The storm gets really big by the time it gets there. All right. Maine baby soup over here. This one has an interesting look to it. That's what I can say about it. It has an interesting striving look. It's starting to get this little hook around it, which means this updraft, instead of looking, can I just get that? It's just lagging. Instead of looking like this, it now looks more like this. Right? And what's the change? It's starting to rotate. And as it's rising, gets flanked to the side by the shear. So that's all this rain and heavy rain here. Belgrade, Alabama. You've probably already gotten hit by one of these. You know what it's like. It's going to be some heavy rain and lightning. You're about to get another one, okay? Not tornadic at the moment, but it's really small. However, it could do that pretty soon, right? I don't have a super duper 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 quality radar for these up here. I'm just going to kind of go over it, okay? These are your sassy pants, okay? This one is producing golf ball size hail. It's getting yanked straight. It's okay. This is how you really know your wind shear is changing direction with height. Okay, it starts getting yanked upwards, then more due easterly, and then southeasterly. So your autograph right now looks like the shape of these storms, which means the autograph looks like this. All right, and you see all the storms. Every single rain shower is going to have that shape to it. Okay, got a couple up here. They kind of have that same look. Um, this one's really concerning. This is, I would call this a full-fledged supercell tornadic, no, supercell tornadic thunderstorm. Right? This probably has a massive wall cloud on it, very low to the ground and rotating pretty quickly. Right? And that's going to be located right in here. This storm also probably has one of those. So both of these storms are going to equally screw you in different ways. What just happened? Severe weather coverage. It's just never been better. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get a charger. It looks like I may have an open area 4-set charger, and I will plug it in. Got a surge protector, so when we get lightning, I'll be here. And we're going to charge our computer. So I'll be back. No severe thunderstorms right now. But before I leave, and I'll only be gone for like 30 seconds, I'm going to leave you with the current radar images of all these supercells that are going up. All right? There it is. I'll see you guys later. By the way, that one near Belgrade, Alabama looks worse. I'll be here in a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Mariana. Yeah, so basically, I got the charger. Had to deal with some other things. And we're gonna go each storm one by one through their entire life cycle. And I'm gonna end the stream. I did this because I can. But also gonna end the stream. Hold on. How do these things go in, man? Alright. So that way, with tonight, I'll probably have to. Actually, that storm looks concerning enough to stay on. A lot of these do, believe it or not. You simply turn it on and keep going. And it's going to update everything. There we go. Alright, let's go through each storm one by one. So there's still a chance today this becomes this big tornado outbreak. So everybody needs to be on their A game. It looks like that just may occur. This one over here, right? This is another Gu storm, but you and Gu have probably been looking at this now for a while. Big hook, okay? It's got that supercell look to it. It has two interesting areas of inflow, one here and one here. All right, this might be a separate supercell, and this may be the main one. So let me highlight that for you so you can easily see. All right, places impacted: Gwinnett, Alabama, Winfield, Alabama, Glen, Alabama, all the way over to Beaverton. Does look like I said, because of that outflow boundary initiation. We do have one going up over here, and because of a confluence band initiation, we have one going up over here and one over here near Sturgill, Alabama. That's that entire radar image analyzed that fast. Right, we got many of them going up over here, and a lot of them here do have that struggling look to them, especially this one. You got your updraft right here, and your wind gets pulled this way, then gets yanked this way. So, Twin, Alabama, you're up next. Brilliant, Alabama could get impacted by some rain. Probably have a cumulus cloud to your south than Brilliant, Alabama. Gwinnett, Alabama, that's to your north. To your south, you got a bigger storm coming. And if you look over there to your west, you have a storm here near Detroit, Alabama. Hamilton, Alabama, you're up towards that storm. Marion County is at, okay, so if you're on the west side of Marion County, the one near Detroit, Alabama could impact you. Its mesocyclone is here. If you're on the southern, basically central and southern Marion County, it's going to be the two wind storms that'll be impacting you here in the next 40 minutes. Moving up towards our mini supercell, this is the third of the bunch here. Hackleburg, Alabama, Hodges, Alabama. You all have been seeing storms all day. This one is probably your biggest, okay? You got an updraft. This may be it. Maybe. All right. It might be here, but I think it's here. All right. And it's kind of getting flooded this way. So if there's going to be any heavy rain, it's going to be here south of Hackleburg. Southern Hackleburg kind of looks like this on the highway. Hackleburg kind of looks like this on the highway, city limits. Okay. So this is probably already in the city limits of Hackleburg. Bear Creek, Alabama, I'd watch out as well for that storm. And now let's get to our severe thunderstorm up here near Florence. And this one does have a extremely concerning look to it. Cherokee, Alabama is just straight up in hell. Your rotation. Okay, once you get out of this hell in Cherokee, Alabama, please take a picture of that and send to your nearest local news. Just so at some point I can get a look at that. Got a big thunderstorm going south of Cherokee. So if you're in Uka, Mississippi, Cherokee, Alabama, Florence, Alabama, Muscle Shoals, Sheffield, Tuscumbia, you're getting some rain because of this storm here near Cherokee. Though that's not actually the main storm that causes severe thunderstorm warning. That one is up here. It has since diminished uh, greatly. It's still technically up, but it's just got pulled apart. It's attached to this other storm. It's a big mess up here. of a bunch of rain. Iron City, Tennessee, Collinwood, Tennessee. Those are your impacts over there. Main storm of concern right now, at least for me, is this one over here near Tishomingo, Mississippi. Said your name now like 8 times. And it does have this little nudge on it. And that nudge is symbolizing a roof lake downdraft. That is in that thunderstorm. Rotation would be occurring right there. So that's the area we're going to have to watch. Uh, like I said, it's getting yanked to the side, but at this point, this is a very organized thunderstorm. It, there's a competing updraft here. There's actually a updraft here. There's one here. There's one here. But overall, there even a possible left split up here. It's becoming more and more organized, would you say? And up here in Tennessee, we don't want to talk about that one. I think I do have I have one right here in Jackson, Tennessee, do I? I know I just used that. No, I have OHX. Does OHX has a view of this? OHX has a good view of this, not a great view. That's north. That's Kentucky radar. I'm gonna use NQ8 just to play it safe. Selecting your radar site is just as important as actually looking at the storm on radar. And well, yeah. This one's I have some good news for this, though. Might look at the velocities and it may say otherwise. And there might even be a CC drop. So honestly, I can't say the good news yet, but I'm guessing this is okay. Hold on a second. My bad. Obviously, I was wrong. Yeah. There's a pretty large violent tornado on the ground with this. This is a successful storm in this environment. This is on the ground. 100%. Alright. Here it is. Let me get the drawing tools out. I did not expect this storm to be this bad, but it's right here. Big hail core on this storm. I was noticing this doggy leg structure, but there's still inflow coming into it, and it is very successful here. Jackson, Tennessee, you can probably see the tornado from Jackson, Tennessee. This is definitely the most concerning thunderstorm. Triple hail tag on that. Pretty rare stuff. We get a quick zoom in. All right. If you have anybody watching from Clarksburg, I'm not that popular, but could still have one. Parker's Crossroads, Tennessee. Get ready. You should be in your safe spot right now. McLettersville, Tennessee. Eightwood, Tennessee. You need to be in your safe spot. Clarksburg, Tennessee. Like I said. Dude, why is it just my radar? It just crashed. But it crashed in a good way. It pulled up our cameras, and maybe from Florence we can see the storm that's almost parallel to it. There's definitely some rain falling, but can't see thunderstorms super clearly in this. What about the Space and Rocket Center camera? Do we have a view of that fighting thunderstorm? And has it won? Probably can see it pulled apart here. No, it looks like it won. It's just off screen. There's an handle on it. East Limestone 1. No tornadoes or hail or really anything here just yet, but environment is prepared. It's prepared in a good way. Let's see what's in the chat. We're going to use this bug to our advantage. I told it to open up the chat like 3 times. Dude. Okay. Who is Animation Studios? I don't know who Animation Studios is. I might just be dumb. Who knows? What if it's like Mr. Beast? No clue. But whatever. Can't donate to me. I'm so sorry about that. If you just give me $5,000, that'd be pretty good. Now, I'm not going to spend it on myself, believe it or not. Trust me. As much as I want to, I would not. Instead, I would take that $5,000 and I'd put it towards tornado victims. On God. 100%. Also, why are they saying you know what else is massive? Okay, like I've heard the low taper fade joke too many times. You're telling me I'm looking at freaking tornadoes and you have to make a low taper fade joke in the chat? Like, what a goofball are you? Like, come on, guys. You guys can be better than that. Also, why is it just like random spammed like memes and crap or emojis? What is this person doing with their life? Honestly, it's kind of weird. Sorry for the crash out, but what matters is people's safety. And if you just can't get that through your skull, then there's something wrong with you. There just is something wrong with you. Let me say, oh, is there something wrong with you mentally? No, there's actually just something wrong with you. All right? Just objectively, there's something wrong with you. These stores have all won against the cap. Um, uh, that's my reaction. We'll see. This is still a developing situation. I'm gonna call the stream quits, honestly. Though, first, I'm gonna bully whoever here is in the chat. Because, like, really? Come on, guys. What even is this? This storm is scary that I busted all over the screen. Don't press this link. But who is this? You know, honestly, if you're busting all over the screen, first of all, this person is probably a woman. Second of all, if you're busting over the screen because of thunderstorms, then you have a very lonely life. Honestly. I'm literally talking about rain. Like, this person is just sad. Also, they're the only person in the chat. This is probably my only viewer. If you're watching me right now, you suck. You're trash. That's what you are. This is my chat. I literally can do whatever I want. You know, it's just this person is just not smart. They're not very smart. Well, I'll see you guys later.